Good morning, everybody. This is Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. Good to see you. Good to know that you're out there. Thank you again for joining. And we're talking about something different today, just a little bit more intensive about it as far as going for your dreams, how to realize your dreams day by day, how to realize them day by day. And so it's not a big deal. It's not a major thing. You can actually do it day by day and make this progress as daily objectives. And so we want to go through this simple as possible. Number one, you got to stay inspired. You got to stay inspired. And I say that being real nice, stay inspired. Look at this. We are in our YouTube channel, and in our YouTube channel, you can actually go to a recent video that I uploaded called Stay Inspired. It's really simple. It's really a message that was set up as a bonus to this series. And I even did this message as a podcast as well, much like this show. And so that podcast message is available as well. And so I'll be sure to share that podcast message in the chat, but you can see I'll also mention that Stay Inspired video later on. But that's what you got to do in the meantime. While we're here with what we're doing, you got to stay inspired. You got to stay on it. You got to go ahead and make sure that you are spending some time, right? Spending some time doing the things that you need to do, doing some things that you need to do in order to manage what you have going on in going for your dreams. And so stay inspired. That's going to keep you going. That's going to keep you motivated. That's going to keep you on track. And I say that that's something that you can do on an ongoing basis. You can never have too much inspiration. And so if nothing else, don't worry about it. No one else is going to be cheering you on. Then you need to become the chief executive cheerleader, right? You need to be your main number one top cheerleader. If nothing else is going on, you need to be that one. You need to be him. You need to be her, whatever that is. You need to be that person who is the one as far as talking about what's going on with you and your dream and being there and really managing that and keeping yourself motivated. Nobody else might do it, but you need to do it. You need to do it, and you need to be all for it and gung-ho about it. So stay inspired, stay with it, continue to go for it and be there and manage that chief executive cheerleader role. Just stay inspired as far as that goes. And so look at this. A whole bunch of people talking about superpowers, but everybody's not doing the basics. Everybody's not doing the fundamentals. And so when we're talking about superpowers, we're talking about people talking about things that are beyond the norm, but sometimes just to normalize it is going to make it regular for you, and you want that as far as the basics. You want to normalize some of the basics. You want a foundation. You want a structure. You want it in place because that gives you something to build upon, right? You build upon, as Jesus said when he talks about faith, when you build upon the solid rock and not the sand. You want a solid foundation to build upon, and that's what the basics are, okay? And so we want to go ahead and look beyond trying to do the extraordinary. What are the basic things that we need to have in place and be doing in order to make this happen for us? And so go beyond the superpowers, look at the basics. What are the basics that need to be in place for what you're going to be doing? And part of that is going to get into goal setting. Part of that's going to get into planning. And we're going to get into that right now. So here we go. Set your targets. Set your targets. What are the targets that you have? What are the goals that you have for what you want to do as far as your goals. What's the end game? Where are you trying to get to? What are you trying to accomplish? What would be a sign of achievement? What would be the measurement for that? What are the metrics that would be there? So if it's to save $100, right? What are you starting with? Where are you going to put it? Are you going to do it in increments of 10? Or are you going to do it in increments of 2? Right? That gets you into what's the target? What are you aiming for? Where are you headed? As Norman Vincent Peale would say, know where you are going, right? What are your targets? Set your targets. Then set your timeline. If I'm trying to save $100 in 4 weeks, 100 divided by 4 is 25. I need to save $25 a week. Monday through Friday of this week, am I on target? Or do I need to hurry up and do something this weekend to pick up that extra $25? What am I doing? As far as my timeline, that's in alignment with my target, right? And so if my target is that $100 and I'm doing it over 4 weeks, I know I need to hit $25. So as I measure it, I'm measuring my timeline and my target and seeing, okay, am I on track? Am I on track with what I'm doing? And I can do that daily. I can do that, as I said, weekly. I can measure it, but I need to keep track of it. And I need a scripted action plan. Okay, I'm going to save $5 a day, Monday through Friday, in order to reach $25 per week. And I'm going to do that for 4 weeks. And I should arrive at $100. I'll check my progress daily on where I am with those $5. And if I miss a day, I'll try and make that up on either Saturday or Sunday. I'm scripting a plan. I'm writing out a plan. I shared it before when we were talking about the ministry and writing the vision and making it plain. I shared it about, sharing your dream with your team. Those are different things that we've talked about, right? Different things that we've covered in looking at getting things accomplished and getting things done in going for your dreams. And so what are you doing for your own dream? What are you doing for your own dream? And what are you doing in light of that? And how are you scripting that plan? How are you staying on track with that? And so putting this into perspective, right? If you set your goals, set your target, right? And then you set your timeline. And then, here we go. You go ahead and script your action plan. You begin to come up with what you need to move forward. You begin to come up with what you need to move forward. Let me share it like this. This right here is what I was writing in 2010, based upon something I had started in 2008. And what I wrote in 2010 is what I'm actually putting together and putting into action now, based upon where life has taken me. But I wrote it in 2010, based upon where ministry has taken me. But I wrote it in 2010. I scripted it out in 2010, and it's almost verbatim to what I'm rolling out as we speak. And I did it. I wrote it out. I scripted the action plan, and here it is. Part of that plan coming into fruition. Part of that plan coming alive. So you've got to set your targets, set your timeline, and script your action plan. That's what you've got to do, right? I love this from, Tim Ferriss, right? Life's too short to think small. Life's too short to think small. You want to climb and reach new peaks. You want to go to new levels. You want to level up, scale up. Life's too short to think small. Get up there. Go out there. Dig deep. Make it happen. But life is too short to think small. You've got to do the work in order to go for your dreams. You got to do the work in order to go for your dreams. And so set those targets. That's part of your goal setting. Set that timeline, part of SMART goals, right? And then you want to go ahead and script that action plan. Write that out. Write that out and write the vision. Make it plain. Make it to where you and anyone else rolling with you, riding with you, can take that and take that to the next level as you go forward. We're moving on. And so this one's important, right? And I need you to get this. Daily, here's what I would suggest in doing this daily. Revisit your action plan, right? I brought it up. I brought out the journal. I looked at it, right? I brought out, my day planner. I looked at it. I brought out my calendar. I looked at it. I went through other stuff on my computer. I looked at it. Stuff I had written down in the past. I revisit it, look at it, and then say, okay, is this the time? For me, it includes prayer, meditation, my devotion time, right? My Bible study. For you, what does it include? Do you get centered when you work out? Do you get centered when you meditate? Do you get centered? What centers you? What gets you head clear and in a good space to where you can look forward? Identify top priorities. What are the top things you need to do today? Right? What are the top things you need to knock out? And then tackle the tough stuff first. Tackle those tough tasks first. Knock that out. Get that out of the way so you can make it happen. And then, like I'm sharing, journal the journey. Journal it. Keep a record of it. Did I make it? Did I hit the mark? Did I do what I was planning on doing? Did I get to what I said I wanted to do? Did I reach my goals? Did I accomplish some things? Or did I just knock out that one tough thing that's been holding me back? What did I do today? Did I overcome some obstacles today, or did I just go ahead and get enough of myself together so I can put this thing back into motion tomorrow? That's what we're looking at. What is it that you're doing daily, right, to accomplish your goals? If you stay inspired and you stay on it, you should be on track to accomplishing some big things with your goals. You should be on track to accomplishing some big things with your goals. And so if we go ahead and do that, right? If we go ahead and do that, then this next thing is going to be easy, right? We're going to take aim, right? We're going to take aim. And when we take aim, that means we're putting our targets in sight. We're saying this is a goal, and I've got it in sight. I'm locking in on that. And I think a lot of times we might not lock in, and so it's easy to hit and miss when we don't lock in on it. How are you taking aim at your targets? How are you taking aim at them? How are you keying in on that and just locking in on the target that you have set for yourself regarding your goal? And so think about that and think that through. You want to take aim, and then you want to take action, right? I think when we take aim, think about it from the perspective of a sharpshooter and not a shotgun, right? You want to hit a specific target. You want to hit a bullseye. You don't want to hit whatever, right? Shotgun, you shoot it and it spreads out, and whatever's in the way, it just hits. Just something. It just hits something. But if you're sharpshooting, you're shooting at a target. You want a bullseye. You're very specific. You want a pointed target that you want to hit, and that's what your plan should be. Your plan should be about taking action that's very specific, right? That you've taken aim at, that's, isolated and identified, right? And so it needs to be both of those things, right? So it needs to be isolated, right? And it needs to be identified. Those are the two, right? That you gotta have. And if you don't have those, it's gonna be hit or miss. It's gonna be whatever, right? So you want them both isolated and identified. That's what you want. And so those are the things that you want for your targets. Okay. Take aim, number one, right? And then you want to take action. And so we're moving on. This makes sense, right? This makes sense when we're really trying to talk about facing the challenge of quitting. Every day for my people that struggle with depression, right? My people that struggle with PTSD and other trauma, when we go to being informed about trauma, what we need to understand is sometimes getting out of the bed is a challenge. Sometimes facing the mirror is a challenge. And so for my people that are doing day to day as a struggle, here's this one for you. Your challenges might just offer you opportunities, right? I want you to flip the script and change the perspective on that. Your challenges might just offer you opportunities, and these are opportunities to make choices and make changes. And those choices and changes can be the very things that are going to lead to you overcoming all kinds of difficulties, all kinds of other challenges, the massive and the minute. Okay, and so understand how we face and deal with these challenges are going to impact how we proceed, how you look at it. Your perspective is going to impact how you move, how you manage yourself throughout your journey. And if your perspective is tainted or blurred by what's obstructing you, what's an obstacle to you, what's a challenge to you, then you're going to miss some opportunities because you can't see beyond what's immediately in your face, and you're not able to see what's in your future. You understand what I mean? Those things that are blocking you are not allowing you to see what's in your immediate future behind that challenge, behind that obstacle, behind that obstruction. And so I want to challenge you, right, to go ahead and face it. One of the guys I love to follow online is Sean Cannell, and I love when he says, punch fear in the face. Punch fear in the face. Give it something. Give it your all, and no matter what, defy it. Defy doubt and depression, and deny them the victory, and you go ahead and punch fear in the face and face those challenges. And so I'm with you on it, and I'm praying for you, but I want you to make that move and accept that those challenges are potentially opportunities to overcome all kinds of difficulties. And so in the midst of all this, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Not only stay inspired, but invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. One of the things we're going to be talking about is, your hobbies and what are you doing with that. But like I already mentioned, journal it, write it down, read books. I'm going to share some resources here in just a moment. Listen to podcasts, Side Hustle podcasts, Tim Ferriss I mentioned earlier. Get into some other podcasts that are able to tell you some things and teach you some lessons that you see as vital, but stay with it and stick with it. And some of these things are going to pay off, and they're going to pay off big. They're going to pay off big because you're investing in yourself and you're building yourself up. Look at this. This is part of the resources that I really want you to get into and get a hold of. But also I shared my reading list books that I'm rereading for 2023. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins is definitely a go-to if we're talking about overcoming challenges. No Excuses by Brian Tracy, as well as Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy, and Start with Why by Simon Sinek. These are all great books to get a hold of, and definitely when you check out the video of my reading list, you'll see that on that reading list is, Norman Vincent Peale. I'm pretty much almost always reading something by him, but the whole idea of positive thinking, for times like these, come on, it's definitely a powerful book. And with that gets you into your mindset. And so think about next steps. We're already taking aim. We're already taking action. We're motivated to stay inspired. Listen, as I mentioned before, take an assessment of what you already got going on. You've got a hobby. Can you turn that into your hustle? Can that be your, next thing? Are you into, race cars, collectibles? Look at that with Hot Wheels. There's a Netflix special on a guy who went and got all the Pez heads and the collectibles out of Europe and brought them to the U.S. I mean, come on, that was one thing, but I mean, amazing that was a hustle for him, right? And now, what are some things that could be your hustle? What are some things that you could do that don't require you to always be hands-on, that don't require you to always be engaged? What are some things that you can do to turn your hustle, your hobby, into your hustle? And so those things are potentially the things that will also help you buy more time, right? Buy more assets that buy you time and get you an amount of leeway in order to go to your next thing, whatever your next thing may be, right? Whatever your next thing may be. And so keep that in mind. This is a video that's, available on our YouTube channel, and definitely check that out. That's how to turn your hustle, your hobby, into your hustle, right? It's all about the hustle, right? A lot of resources, plenty there. And I would take it even further. Definitely look at the video about staying inspired. Now is the time when plenty of people will quit. Going for their New Year's resolution. This video actually breaks down some of the percentages and what happens with people as far as that goes. Let me give away part of it right now. The truth is only 9% of people actually accomplish their New Year's resolution. 9%, not even 10%, right? And if you want to put a positive spin on it, nearly 10% of people, right? Nearly 10% of people accomplish their New Year's resolutions. But this is the time when most people quit. Right now. When most people quit is right now. And so that's why I'm telling you, stay inspired and going for your dreams. Don't become a statistic with that. Stay inspired. And definitely in doing that, look at what Napoleon says. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. What you want most or what you want at the moment, right? Boom. That's where it is. And so I'm back to Sean Cannell and what he says. And it really should stick with us. Don't expect people to understand your grind when God didn't give them your vision. Don't expect people to understand your grind when God didn't give them your vision. Don't expect people to understand why you go out of the way to do what you do and God didn't give them what he gave you. God didn't give them the insight and the inspiration to do what you're doing. He gave it to you. Yours is for you. And if you can understand that and accept that you don't have to pray Jabez's prayer. You need what God has for you. Max Lucado says it another way. He says, God shaped you for your uniqueness. God shaped you for what he has specifically defined and designed for you. Why try to go outside of that and become what everyone else is looking for out of you? Become all of what you could and possibly should be. Do that. Do that thing that's itching to explode and come out of you. Do that thing. But don't expect everybody to be on board. Don't expect everyone to have a party about it. It's not about that. It's really about what you're doing and how you do it and what God's placed in your hands, right? Go back to your day-to-day. Revisit your action plan. Identify top priorities. Tackle the tough stuff first and journal the journey. Journal the journey. Take aim and take action. It's going to come down to it. It's going to come down to it, and it's going to come down to how you handle what's before you in order to get to what's beyond right now. There's a whole lot of 2023 left, and we're still at the beginning, even though we're coming out of the first month. We're still at the beginning, right? And so if we can do this right now, if you can stay inspired, if you can continue and hold on like you should, you can accomplish so much. You can get so much done and be in such a different place than you even imagine, because you'll be able to knock things out day by day. You'll be able to go back to your journal and say, man, I had talked about that, and now I'm seeing the opportunity of when and how to do that, and boom, it's coming together. It's falling into place. I'm thanking God. And don't think that just because you've got one idea in motion that other ideas won't come. Stay ready. Have extra pages in your notebook or your journal. Have extra pages ready. Leave some space, because there will be more to flow beyond what you already know. And it should be that way. And it should utterly amaze you. It should send chills up your spine that it's like that. I got to tell you, stay inspired, keep going for what you know, and keep going after your dreams. This is going to be something that we'll talk about throughout the year, but it's something I want you to stay inspired to do and continue. And as we go into Black History Month, I want to offer some iconic individuals of inspiration to share with you. And then we're rolling into our normal thing of interviews and discussions. And I hope you stick with us. Hey, this has been Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for jumping in the conversation. Have a great day. God bless.